What's going on, guys? We have hit 1,000 total channel views. So, for the event, I made something special for you guys. I made a second puzzle. First one was Clockwork 7. You can check the description. I will throw it in there. And this one, I'm not going to come out with a name until the end. It'll give it away, or a hint. If you want to try solving it yourself, white is to move and force a checkmate. So I'll give you the opportunity now. No second takes, so pause the video now. All right, this is going to be a doozy, so let's get this going. You can see from the bottom that there are an arsenal of black pieces. So if you don't check the king every single time, you're going to lose. They're going to move the bishop up. You're going to get checked by the rook. They're going to move the bishop up again. They're going to check you with the queen. You can only temporary block with a knight, and it's game over. So you got to force every single checkmate or check. There are 2 knights off the bat that you can check with. I'm not going to go down every rabbit hole on the wrong moves. It is possible to figure it out. It's not too crazy. A couple people on Reddit were able to do it. I don't know what their strength were, if they're masters, grandmasters, but I would assume they're pretty strong. You got 2 knights to check them on this square. The other knight does not work because you need the A5 square covered. When you check them here, they only have 1 move. They have to march up. You only have 1 other check possible right here. The king is not going to march up because on this knight would march here and it'd be checkmate. So the king's got to march down. It looks like you ran out of checks, but you got the sneaky under promotion to a knight. King's got 1 square. You got a couple different checks. This one would be gobbled up by the black knight. Wrong. This one would be gobbled up by the black knight. So the only reasonable check, I mean, you got this one too, is knight a7. Forces the king to c5. The only knight that can check him now is this one. And you got 2 places. You can check him here or here. If you checked him on the a6 square, the best you could do is a perpetual check, bobbing your king back and forth between c7 and e6. So by checking him here, king only has one move. And the reason why you moved the knight to d7 instead of the other one, and this isn't a perpetual, because now this knight has access to the f6 square. And when you, it's kind of maneuvering the knight because you need to get him to a different square. When you check him with this knight, it actually forces him back. And you check him with this knight on this square again, and it pushes him back to d5. And it's important to have the knight on e4 because it blocks off the c5 and the d6 square. So you got a lot of checks from here. I mean, you could always bring the knight back. You could suicide him and lose to the pawn. You could suicide and lose to the pawn. So the proper one is knight on b6 check. The only square he's got now is e5. There's only 3 checks available now. You can bring the knight back here. You can bring the knight up here. None of those work to lead to a checkmate. You got to bring this guy off the edge on the c6 square. And it pushes him yet again farther towards the corner. From here, you really only have 1 check available. It's kind of obvious. Knight d5. Now the black king can't go to this square, can't go to this square, can't go to this square, can't go to this square. Can't go to any of the dark squares. But he can capture this pawn because it's the only piece on the white squares that's not protected. From here, you can march. I mean, there's a lot of checks again. Knight here, knight here, knight here, knight here. You can check them here, or technically you can check them by capturing the pawn. Both of them work. By doing so, it leaves them with one option. Go to the G2 square. Now, if you did capture the pawn, you got two checks with this knight. You got this check and this check. If you would, the last move, if you would have taken the pawn, you would be able to check here, but that doesn't work because you need to guard the H3 pawn. Knight's got to go to this square. Otherwise, the king would gobble the H3 pawn, and he would escape. And from here, he's got two options. He can go to G1 or H2. Regardless of which direction he goes. Do you see it? Knight F3 checkmate. The Knight Extravaganza. It's 13 moves. And if you toggle on the evaluation and you rewind the whole puzzle, you can see, once the computer catches up, checkmate in 13. It's all forced. And the funny thing is, on chess.com, doesn't recognize it. It evaluates this position as draw, a fat 0. Once you give the first check, the d5 knight on b6, it does recognize a checkmate in 12. And then if you take the move back, then it will recognize checkmate in 13. But I'm going to run it through one more time. Absolutely insane. I literally don't know how I can do this stuff. I mean, this is the most insane puzzle I have ever seen. Ever. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed my little treat for the 1,000 view count. And hope that we continue to grow. And I do appreciate all the views. I don't know exactly who you are, but I know that you guys do watch my videos. And I appreciate every single last one. We will see each other again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.